Awakening. Title: The Meta Revelation. Here's a quick introduction. Ethan. Once an ordinary man, Ethan's life was shattered when a government experiment left him with godlike powers. He is the protagonist of the story, driven by a quest for understanding, self-realization, and the truth about the world and his existence. His ascension grants him the ability to manipulate reality itself, but it also carries heavy burdens as he grapples with his newfound divinity and the moral implications of controlling the fabric of existence. Ethan is compassionate, yet tormented by the weight of his power, unsure of what it means to be a god and whether he should wield that power to control or protect. Lyra. Lyra is Ethan's closest ally, a fierce and intelligent being who is also part of the government experiment. While not as powerful as Ethan, she is deeply skilled in perception and energy manipulation. Lyra acts as a grounding force for Ethan, helping him navigate his powers and the complex world they now inhabit. She is driven by her loyalty to Ethan, but struggles with her own identity as someone who was transformed by science. Over time, Lyra becomes a voice of reason and compassion, guiding Ethan toward understanding the importance of balance. Kaylin. A being of immense power who embodies the forces of both chaos and order, Kaylin has seen countless iterations of the multiverse and is one of the few who understands the true nature of existence. While Kaylin was once a leader in their dimension, they are now a wanderer, having abandoned the rigid systems that once bound them. Kaylin is a key figure in revealing the deeper mysteries of the loom and meta-reality. Their calm demeanor and immense wisdom help Ethan and Lyra realize that the universe is not merely what it seems. Kaylin may be a friend, but their perspective on power and its use might one day put them at odds with Ethan, the Observer. A mysterious and enigmatic figure, the Observer is a childlike entity that exists outside of time and space. It is the creator of the meta-reality that binds all the dimensions together, and unknowingly, it is the reason for the multiverse's existence. The Observer's innocence and lack of malice are contrasted by the devastating implications of its actions. Though seemingly unaware of the life contained within the spheres, the Observer holds the fate of countless realities in its hands. The Defenders of Truth. A faction of powerful beings from various dimensions, the Defenders are committed to preserving the status quo and maintaining their reality as they know it. When they learn of Ethan and Lyra's revelations about meta-reality, they resist, fearing the chaos and uncertainty that such knowledge could bring. They try to suppress Ethan's transformation and control the multiverse's narrative. Though they believe their cause is righteous, they represent the resistance to change, acting out of fear of losing their power and control over their own dimensions. These characters together create the core of the story, each bringing unique perspectives on power, freedom, and the responsibilities that come with understanding the very fabric of existence. Description. In a universe shaped by endless dimensions and teetering on the edge of cosmic discovery, Ethan and Lyra, two beings transformed by mysterious government experiments, uncover the startling truth about existence itself. Together with Kaylin, a powerful being with mastery over chaos and order, they delve into the enigmatic concept of meta-reality, the fundamental essence that connects all life and dimensions. But as they attempt to share their knowledge, their revelations spark fear and rebellion. Civilizations and powerful entities rise against them, threatening to imprison them within the very fabric of existence they've sworn to protect. Amid the chaos, Ethan ascends to a state of ultimate power, realizing that he is not just connected to the universe, he is the universe. While many see him as the one true God, questions of free will, morality, and the endless cycle of creation and destruction weigh heavily on his shoulders. As Ethan reshapes reality to bring peace, a shadowy figure emerges, revealing that Ethan's journey is only the beginning. A gripping tale of power, love, and the search for meaning, the meta-revelation explores the fragility of life, the nature of divinity, and the infinite possibilities hidden within the air we breathe. With its intricate layers of storytelling and its shocking cliffhangers, this book challenges readers to rethink everything they know about existence. Chapter 1: The Experiment. Ethan, the Awakening, and his mission. Ethan is a man who was once ordinary, living a quiet life until a catastrophic accident left him at the mercy of a government that sought to use his body as a vessel for their experiments. What they didn't anticipate was that their tampering would not only heal him, but transform him into something far beyond human, granting him godlike abilities that bend reality itself. His body, once fragile, now pulses with the raw energy of the universe, giving him the power to manipulate time, space, and even the very fabric of existence. When Ethan first awakens in the laboratory, disoriented and confused, He quickly realizes that he is no longer the man he once was. His newfound abilities flood his senses, overwhelming him with the realization that he now holds the power to alter reality on an unimaginable scale. This is where his true journey begins, discovering what it means to be a god and whether he can maintain his humanity in the face of such immense power. Ethan's mission is both personal and universal. At first, he is driven by a need to understand what happened to him, why he was chosen for this experiment, and what purpose he serves in a world where reality itself seems to bend at his will. However, as he begins to unravel the mysteries of the multiverse, Ethan's mission evolves into something far greater. He learns that the very fabric of existence, what he thought was an unchangeable universe, is a construct of something even more profound, meta-reality. This understanding shakes him to the core, revealing that he is not just an individual, but an integral part of the infinite web of existence. Ethan's mission becomes about transcending his newfound identity as a god. He must navigate the complexities of his immense power while grappling with the moral and philosophical implications of it. As he learns that the universe is part of an endless cycle of creation, destruction, and rebirth, Ethan seeks to protect the delicate balance of reality while ensuring that life continues to evolve in a meaningful way. His true goal, however, remains to bring understanding and freedom to the beings of the multiverse, guiding them toward enlightenment and helping them break free from the constraints of their own limited perceptions. But Ethan's awakening does not go unnoticed. The forces that sought to control him, along with those who fear his power, will stop at nothing to either use or destroy him. Through his journey, Ethan must grapple with the weight of his existence, the consequences of his actions, and the dawning realization that he is not alone in his role as a god. The stakes are far higher than he could have ever imagined, and his mission to understand and control the meta-reality will bring him face to face with entities far more powerful than he ever could have anticipated. As he steps into his new role, Ethan is left with one burning question: what does it mean to be truly free when you are the one who holds the power to shape everything? Ethan's body is secretly taken to an off-the-books government research facility. The agency, known as Aegis Division, specializes in experimental medical technologies. Ethan becomes the subject of Project Prometheus, a program aimed at unlocking superhuman potential using bioengineering and nanotechnology. However, during the experiment, an error occurs. A power surge combines with an unstable particle accelerator, resulting in an unintended reaction. The world exploded into blinding light. Ethan's body trembled, his mind ricocheted between dimensions, and for a split second, he was no one, nothing. An infinite black void stretched out before him, vast and consuming, as his very essence fragmented into 1,000 whispers. He felt the weight of an entire universe bearing down on him, its laws bending and twisting as if they were fragile threads about to snap. Then the noise, a thunderous, guttural roar, like the universe itself had taken a breath, deep, trembling, and endless. His heart stuttered, the echo of it pulsing through the void, and in that heartbeat, everything came rushing back. The laboratory, the experiments, the government agents who turned him into something different, something more. His senses flooded back in waves, distorted but real. His body, once so fragile and human, now pulsed with energy, alive with power that bent space itself. He looked down at his hands, trembling, not from fear, but from the sheer force he now felt coursing through his veins. This was no accident. Through the blur of his new consciousness, a single word screamed in his mind: ascension. Ethan staggered to his feet, every step like walking on the edge of the universe. The air around him shimmered and bent with each movement, the fabric of reality itself wavering as he commanded it. But he was still no god. Not yet. And then, from the darkness of his thoughts, a voice. "You've crossed the threshold, Ethan. Welcome to the beginning." His gaze snapped upward, and the world around him twisted again, no longer a lab, no longer a prison. He stood in the heart of a storm, chaos, time, and space, swirling into one. And in that storm, there was something waiting. A presence, older and wiser, perhaps even more powerful than he could imagine. Now let me show you what it means to be truly free. The universe had just begun to crack open. Ethan regains consciousness, but he is no longer the man he once was. He feels disconnected from his body, his mind flooded with unfamiliar knowledge and an overwhelming sense of power. The scientists soon realized that the experiment didn't just heal Ethan, it fundamentally altered him. His DNA now carries properties that defy natural law, granting him godlike abilities, control over energy, manipulation of matter, and omniscience. The government initially celebrates Ethan's transformation, seeing him as a potential weapon. But Ethan struggles with his newfound powers, accidentally causing destruction when he cannot control his abilities. This frightens the government, and they decide he's too dangerous to remain free. Aegis Division begins planning to neutralize him. Chapter 2, Escape and Revelation. Ethan overhears their plans and flees the facility. While on the run, he begins uncovering the truth about Project Prometheus. It wasn't meant to create superhumans, but to develop a way to harness divine energy stolen from an ancient artifact. The experiment had inadvertently connected Ethan to this celestial power source, turning him into a godlike being. Word of Ethan's abilities leaks to the public, sparking global panic and intrigue. Religious groups claim he's a sign of the apocalypse. Scientists see him as an evolutionary leap, and militaries around the world want to capture or eliminate him. Meanwhile, Ethan tries to understand his new role in a world that both fears and reveres him. Ethan begins testing the limits of his abilities, realizing that his power is immense but also comes at a cost. Every time he uses it, he becomes less human. He faces moral dilemmas such as whether to use his powers to end wars, cure diseases, or enforce peace, knowing his actions could destabilize the world. Ethan's powers attract the attention of a celestial entity tied to the artifact that transformed him. This being reveals that Ethan's transformation wasn't an accident, it was a summoning. The being warns him that wielding godhood comes with responsibility, protect humanity from a coming threat or risk annihilation. Chapter 3, Aegis Strikes Back. Determined to reclaim their experiment, Aegis Division creates a countermeasure, Project Hades, an artificial god designed to neutralize Ethan. The resulting battle is catastrophic, testing Ethan's humanity as he faces an adversary as powerful as himself. In the aftermath of his battle with Project Hades, Ethan realizes that his connection to the celestial power is unstable and could eventually destroy Earth. The celestial entity offers him a choice: ascend fully into godhood and leave humanity behind, or relinquish his power to save the world, even if it means his own death. Ethan chooses to sacrifice himself, channeling all his energy into stabilizing Earth and severing his link to the celestial power. In his final moments, he leaves behind a legacy of hope and change, proving that even as a god, his humanity defined him. Years later, humanity has united in ways it never had before, inspired by Ethan's story. Monuments are built in his honor, and a new generation of scientists works to ensure no one else suffers from experiments like Project Prometheus. But deep in space, the celestial entity watches, hinting that Ethan's story may not be over. Months after Ethan's supposed death, the world is adjusting to life without him. However, secret reports from Aegis Division indicate strange activity at one of their remote facilities. Ethan, thought to be gone, awakens in a mysterious location with no memory of how he got there. Chapter 4, The Reawakening. Ethan regains consciousness in a dimly lit containment cell. Unlike his previous encounters with Aegis, this facility seems abandoned and overgrown, as though it hasn't been operational for years. He senses someone else's presence nearby, their energy just as powerful as his own, but fundamentally different. Ethan encounters Lyra Morgan, a woman with piercing green eyes and an enigmatic aura. Lyra reveals she's been imprisoned by Aegis for decades after their experiments awakened her immortality and wind manipulation abilities. Unlike Ethan, who was granted powers through celestial interference, Lyra's abilities stem from her natural connection to the Earth's elemental forces. Lyra and Ethan bond over their shared resentment toward Aegis and the suffering caused by the experiments. Lyra explains she's been subjected to endless tests, with Aegis trying and failing to recreate her powers in others. Ethan, still disoriented, begins to question why he is here and if his ascension truly severed his ties to humanity. While exploring the facility together, Lyra and Ethan find a hidden laboratory containing records of Project Zephyr, a long-forgotten precursor to Project Prometheus. The documents reveal that Lyra was Aegis's first attempt to create an immortal superhuman, and her DNA was used as a blueprint for their later experiments, including Ethan's transformation. Ethan realizes that part of what makes him a god is tied to Lyra's essence, meaning their fates are intertwined. Chapter 5, Aegis Returns. As Ethan and Lyra search for a way out, Aegis operatives storm the facility. They've been tracking Ethan ever since his sacrifice, and they've come to retrieve him and Lyra. The two fight back, with Lyra's mastery over wind creating devastating tornadoes while Ethan's raw energy crushes their attackers. Yet the battle triggers hidden fail-safes in reality. During their escape, Ethan and Lyra stumble upon a massive chamber housing a dormant celestial artifact, the twin to the one that gave Ethan his powers. It was placed here as part of Aegis's plan to create another god, but the artifact has been corrupted, radiating unstable energy. Ethan senses that this artifact is the reason his connection to the celestial realm has been reawakened. Lyra warns him that interacting with it could destroy him or make him even more dangerous. Ethan and Lyra argue over what to do with the artifact. Ethan believes he should destroy it to prevent Aegis from creating more abominations like them. However, Lyra reveals she's been secretly working with a rogue faction of Aegis operatives who promised her freedom in exchange for helping them reclaim the artifact. She tries to immobilize Ethan using her wind powers, but Ethan's energy flares, breaking her control. As the artifact begins to destabilize, Ethan and Lyra are forced to confront their true natures. Ethan challenges Lyra's blind pursuit of freedom at any cost, while Lyra accuses Ethan of clinging to his humanity despite having transcended it. Their fight is intense, with Lyra using her agility and elemental powers to counter Ethan's overwhelming strength. The battle ends in a stalemate when the artifact explodes, forcing them to combine their powers to contain the destruction. The explosion merges the artifact's energy with both Ethan and Lyra, amplifying their abilities to unimaginable levels. Ethan begins to see glimpses of the celestial realm again, while Lyra gains the ability to manipulate not just wind, but the very fabric of time surrounding her. The experience changes them, forging a reluctant partnership as they realize they need each other to survive the growing threat of Aegis, and possibly the celestial forces hunting Ethan. Chapter 6. A New Mission. Ethan and Lyra leave the facility, agreeing to put aside their differences to take down Aegis once and for all. However, Ethan suspects there's more to Lyra's past than she's revealed, and Lyra hints that Ethan's celestial power might not be as unique as he believes. Together, they prepare to face a world that fears them, an agency that wants to control them, and a destiny that could tear them apart. As they part ways to gather strength for the coming war, Ethan encounters the celestial entity from the first book. It warns him that by merging with Lyra's power, he's destabilized the balance of creation, setting the stage for an ancient being, the true God, to awaken. Ethan and Lyra, bonded by their celestial and elemental powers, continue their journey to evade Aegis and uncover their destiny. Their combined energy draws attention not only from Earth's governments, but from the stars. Strange signals from deep space begin to disrupt their abilities, and both feel an inexplicable pull toward an unknown force. While sheltering in a remote mountain range, Ethan and Lyra experience a shared vision, a swirling vortex of light and sound, accompanied by a telepathic voice urging them to find the Nexus. Lyra's wind manipulation allows her to detect subtle shifts in the air that guide them to an ancient alien structure hidden beneath the Earth's surface. The structure activates as they approach, and a beam of energy launches them into space. Ethan and Lyra awaken aboard a colossal alien vessel, an otherworldly ark known as the Nexus. They are greeted by a species called the Viraleth, luminous beings made of shifting light and energy. The Viraleth explain that they've been observing Earth for millennia, intervening only when necessary to guide promising beings toward enlightenment. The Viraleth reveal that Ethan and Lyra's powers have disrupted the cosmic balance, and the universe now hangs on the brink of collapse. The Viraleth present Ethan and Lyra with a series of trials designed to test their worthiness for ascension to a higher plane. Each trial targets their deepest fears and doubts. Ethan must confront his lingering humanity and guilt over his destructive potential, while Lyra faces her fear of eternity and the loneliness her immortality brings. As they navigate the trials, they begin to trust one another more deeply, their bond growing stronger. Chapter 7. The Celestial Rift. The final trial forces Ethan and Lyra to confront the celestial artifact that originally gave Ethan his powers. The artifact manifests as a rift within the Nexus, pulsating with unstable energy. The Viraleth reveal that this rift is a fragment of a much larger phenomenon, a cosmic tear caused by humanity's tampering with divine forces. Ethan and Lyra must decide whether to sever their connection to their powers entirely to stabilize the rift, or risk letting it grow. Instead of relinquishing their powers, Ethan and Lyra convince the Viraleth to help them channel the energy of the rift into something new, a reality where they can wield their powers freely without threatening the balance of the universe. The Viraleth, impressed by their ingenuity, agree to guide them, but warn that creating a new reality will require unimaginable strength and sacrifice. Ethan and Lyra are taken to the Forge of Creation, a celestial engine within the Nexus that allows beings to shape realities. To access its power, they must synchronize their abilities perfectly. Ethan, representing boundless energy, and Lyra, representing elemental harmony, learn to merge their powers, creating an equilibrium neither thought possible. In doing so, they glimpse the raw fabric of existence and begin to mold their own dimension. Chapter 8, The Price of Godhood. The process of creating a new reality begins to take its toll. Ethan's celestial energy threatens to consume him, while Lyra's connection to the elements begins to unravel her mortal identity. The Viroleth warn them that godhood means forsaking their humanity entirely. Ethan and Lyra argue Ethan is willing to embrace this new form, while Lyra fears losing the small remnants of herself that still feel human. Despite their growing bond, they find themselves at odds. As the forge nears completion, Ethan and Lyra discover the Viroleth's true intention. The species isn't simply guiding them, it plans to use their new reality as a sanctuary, abandoning the current universe to collapse. The Viroleth reveal that their race is dying, and they see Ethan and Lyra's creation as their salvation. Betrayed but determined, Ethan and Lyra decide to take control of the forge themselves, locking the Viroleth out. Chapter 9, Becoming Everything. Ethan and Lyra pour their combined essence into the forge, finalizing their creation. The process transforms them into beings of pure energy, unbound by time or space. They become creators of their own reality, a dimension tailored to their ideals of balance and freedom. As the forge completes its work, the nexus begins to crumble. Ethan and Lyra must escape to their new reality before the Viroleth intervene. Ethan and Lyra awaken in their self-made reality, an infinite expanse of possibility where they are no longer bound by the rules of the old universe. Here they discover they are no longer just individuals, they are symbiotic entities, creators of all things within their realm. They use their newfound powers to craft worlds, life, and even new forms of existence. Together, they pledge to protect this realm from the mistakes of their past while guiding others toward enlightenment. As their first act of creation, they shape a portal connecting their reality to Earth, offering humanity the choice to ascend when it's time. Back on Earth, whispers of Ethan and Lyra's new reality spread through remnants of Aegis and those who followed their story. A mysterious gateway appears in the sky, radiating an invitation to step into the unknown. Meanwhile, in their new dimension, Ethan and Lyra watch over the multiverse, preparing for the challenges their godhood will bring. They are no longer bound by their past, but carry it with them, shaping their future as gods of their own making. After Ethan and Lyra's ascension into their own reality, humanity is left grappling with the presence of the mysterious portal linking Earth to their new dimension. Governments and powerful organizations begin devising ways to manipulate or exploit Ethan and Lyra's powers for their own gain. Aegis Division, undeterred by past failures, secretly leads the charge, determined to use the portal as their ultimate weapon. Aegis scientists begin sending drones and small probes into the portal to study the energies of Ethan and Lyra's realm. They discover that the dimension amplifies matter and energy, returning their devices with enhancements far beyond Earth's current technology. Buoyed by these findings, they develop a plan to breach the dimension with a larger team. Unbeknownst to the scientists, each probe sent into the realm leaves behind a sliver of corruption, disrupting Ethan and Lyra's carefully crafted balance. Chapter 10, The Seed of Manipulation. Lyra notices that her winds feel tainted, blowing with chaotic force rather than harmony. Ethan senses disturbances rippling through the fabric of their realm, but they can't identify the cause. Their investigations lead them to the edges of the portal, where they discover traces of Earth's interference. Realizing the Earthlings are trying to exploit their creation, Ethan and Lyra close the portal temporarily. However, Aegis anticipates this move and uses a captured fragment of the celestial artifact to force the portal open. Aegis sends an elite team of enhanced operatives armed with technology derived from Ethan and Lyra's powers into the realm. The operatives bring with them a device, the reality anchor, designed to override the laws of the dimension and bend its energy to their will. Ethan and Lyra confront the intruders, but the operatives use the anchor to weaken their powers, temporarily stripping them of control over the realm. The Earthlings begin to terraform parts of the dimension, turning it into a resource-rich zone they can exploit. As the operatives manipulate the dimension, Ethan and Lyra's connection to their own creation starts to falter. The skies darken, the ground splits, and the once harmonious energies spiral into chaos. Ethan blames himself for leaving the portal open, while Lyra feels responsible for not detecting the intruders sooner. In their weakened state, Ethan and Lyra are forced to retreat to a hidden sanctuary within the realm, where they begin devising a plan to reclaim their power. Chapter 11, Earth's Desperate Gambit. Back on Earth, Aegis broadcasts a global announcement claiming they've neutralized Ethan and Lyra. They promise to use the new dimension to solve Earth's energy crisis and create utopia. However, their real intent is to weaponize the dimension against rival nations. Ethan and Lyra use their weakened powers to send a warning to Earth through the portal, but Aegis suppresses it, manipulating public opinion to see the ascended beings as villains who threatened humanity. Ethan and Lyra realize that their dimension, though corrupted, retains a fragment of their essence. They reach out to the realm itself, awakening its innate defenses. The winds become Lyra's allies once more, tearing through the terraformer structures, while Ethan channels the realm's energy to weaken the reality anchor's influence. The operatives struggle to maintain control as the dimension itself begins resisting them. Desperate to maintain their hold, Aegis deploys their ultimate weapon, the Conduit, a massive human-machine hybrid designed to channel the energy of the celestial fragment directly into the dimension. The conduit generates a feedback loop that further destabilizes the realm, threatening to collapse it entirely. Ethan and Lyra, sensing the danger, must confront the conduit, despite knowing it will push their powers to the limit. The climactic battle takes place at the heart of the dimension, where the conduit is anchored. Ethan and Lyra fight the operatives and the machine while simultaneously repairing the damage to their realm. Lyra summons hurricanes to dismantle the conduit's defenses, while Ethan taps into the raw energy of the dimension to create barriers against Aegis's forces. In a final act of defiance, the conduit overloads the celestial fragment, threatening to tear the entire realm apart. Chapter 12, The Reckoning. Ethan and Lyra combine their powers in a desperate gamble to neutralize the fragment. Ethan focuses on containing its energy, while Lyra uses her winds to disperse its chaotic forces. Their bond deepens as they synchronize perfectly, becoming one with the realm itself. Together, they destroy the conduit and sever Earth's connection to their dimension entirely, ensuring no one from Aegis or any other group can access it again. With the intruders gone and the portal sealed, Ethan and Lyra begin repairing their dimension. They vow to protect it more vigilantly, learning from their mistakes. Back on Earth, Aegis faces global condemnation as their manipulation is exposed by whistleblowers who reveal the truth about their experiments. Without access to the dimension, their power collapses and humanity is left to reckon with its hubris. Ethan and Lyra, now fully ascended and more connected than ever, realize their roles as both creators and protectors. They prepare their realm not just as a sanctuary for themselves, but as a refuge for any being, human or otherwise, seeking balance and enlightenment, watching over Earth. Though they've severed the portal, Ethan and Lyra maintain a subtle connection to Earth, watching over its progress from afar. They see the potential for humanity to grow, even without their direct guidance. But in the shadows of Earth's fractured governments, whispers emerge of another celestial artifact, buried and waiting to be found. Ethan and Lyra sense the disturbance, knowing their journey is far from over. Chapter 13, Ultimate Weapon. After sealing their realm from Earth's interference, Ethan and Lyra believe they've reached peace. However, as they continue rebuilding their dimension, they encounter strange anomalies, timelines fracturing, events repeating, and new, unfamiliar beings appearing in their midst. Unbeknownst to them, their dimension has drawn the attention of an ancient, interwoven species, the Avarin, a race of transcendent entities that exist across all dimensions simultaneously. The Avarin do not see Ethan and Lyra as equals, but as flawed creators whose tampering with reality threatens the stability of the multiverse itself. The Avarin appear as shimmering, amorphous beings, their forms constantly shifting between light and shadow. Their presence is overwhelming, their voices like a chorus of thousands speaking in unison. They confront Ethan and Lyra, not with hostility, but with disappointment, accusing them of arrogance and recklessness. The Avarin offer a choice: surrender their powers and allow the Avarin to fix their mistakes, or face obliteration alongside their dimension. Ethan and Lyra refuse to surrender, demanding an explanation. The Avarin reveal the truth: every dimension is a thread in the multiverse's grand tapestry. Ethan and Lyra's dimension, born of their unique bond, is unraveling neighboring threads, causing fractures across timelines and realities. What's more, the Avarin reveal that Ethan and Lyra's powers are not wholly their own. Their celestial and elemental essences were fragments stolen from the Avarin during Aegis's experiments, making them unwitting heirs to a power they can barely comprehend. Chapter 14, A Tenuous Alliance. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Ethan and Lyra propose a compromise. They will work with the Avarin to stabilize the multiverse, but they will not abandon their realm or its inhabitants. The Avarin reluctantly agree, binding Ethan and Lyra to an ancient pact known as the Concord of Threads. As part of the pact, Ethan and Lyra must travel to other dimensions to mend the damage their existence has caused, while the Avarin oversee their life. Ethan and Lyra's first task is to repair the woven Nexus, a central hub where countless timelines intersect. The Nexus is in chaos, with events from different dimensions colliding and overlapping. Entire civilizations are caught in endless loops of destruction and rebirth. Using her wind manipulation, Lyra stabilizes the chaotic flow of time, while Ethan channels his celestial energy to restore the Nexus's core. Along the way, they encounter remnants of civilizations that thank them, deepening their understanding of the lives they've impacted. Chapter 15, A New Life Form. While working in the Nexus, Ethan and Lyra accidentally create something unprecedented. A life form born not from biology, but from the fusion of their energies. This being, whom they name Kalen, is sentient and able to traverse dimensions without disrupting them. The Avarin, intrigued, declare Kalen to be the first of a new kind of existence, beings that embody balance and harmony. Ethan and Lyra realize that Kalen is more than a creation, it is their legacy, proof that their love and powers can bring life instead of destruction. As Ethan, Lyra, and Kalen work to mend more dimensions, they uncover a startling truth. The Avarin are not as benevolent as they seemed. Long ago, they controlled the multiverse with an iron grip, erasing any dimension or species that did not align with their rigid vision of order. Ethan and Lyra realize the Avarin see their realm not as a threat, but as a challenge to their authority. The Concord of Threads was never about restoration, it was about containment. Chapter 16, The Rebellion of Creation. Determined to break free from the Avarin's control, Ethan and Lyra rally the species they've encountered across dimensions. With Kalen serving as their emissary, they unite civilizations from countless realities into a rebellion against the Avarin. Using their powers, Ethan and Lyra create portals that allow these species to transcend their timelines, forming a coalition capable of challenging the Avarin's influence. The Avarin, enraged by the rebellion, unleash their full power, collapsing unstable dimensions to create weapons of destruction. Ethan and Lyra lead the coalition in a desperate battle, their combined forces fighting not with violence, but with creation, restoring fractured dimensions faster than the Avarin can destroy them. The battle reaches its climax when Ethan and Lyra confront the Avarin in the Eternal Loom, the heart of the multiverse where all threads converge. In the Eternal Loom, Ethan and Lyra discover a way to rewrite the multiverse itself, removing the Avarin's influence and restoring balance to all dimensions. However, the process requires them to relinquish their individuality, merging entirely with their realm to become its eternal guardians. In a tearful goodbye, they entrust Kalen to lead the coalition and guide all species toward harmony. Ethan and Lyra step into the loom, their essences weaving into the multiverse as a final act of love and sacrifice. Chapter 17, A New Era of Peace. With the Avarin defeated and the multiverse restored, Kalen becomes a beacon of unity, helping civilizations forge bonds across dimensions. The coalition disbands peacefully, each species returning to its own timeline with the promise of cooperation and mutual growth. Ethan and Lyra's realm becomes a sanctuary for lost souls and displaced beings, a place where love and creation thrive eternally. Though their physical forms are gone, their presence is felt in every breeze, every star, every act of kindness across the multiverse. In a quiet moment, Kalen hears a familiar whisper in the winds of the loom, a soft, loving reminder that Ethan and Lyra are still watching, still guiding, and still creating. Their love, once bound to a single realm, now echoes across all realities, ensuring peace and happiness for every being, everywhere. Ethan and Lyra may have sacrificed their physical forms to bring balance to the multiverse, but their consciousness lingers within the eternal loom. They observe Kalen's growing leadership and the multiverse's recovery, but they also delve into the origins of their greatest adversary, the Avarin. The Avarin's history is shrouded in mystery, even to them. As they probe the loom for answers, Ethan and Lyra uncover truths that Kalen must face, truths that will challenge the balance they fought so hard to achieve. The Avarin were born from the first convergence of dimensions at the dawn of existence. Unlike mortal beings who arose within individual realities, the Avarin emerged in the spaces between dimensions, forming as entities of pure energy and purpose. Their sole function was to ensure harmony among the multiverse's threads, acting as caretakers of the eternal loom. At first, the Everin were selfless, fostering the growth of dimensions and guiding new life forms. But as the multiverse expanded, so did the Everin's obsession with order. They began erasing realities they deemed chaotic, leaving only those that aligned with their rigid vision. Chapter 18, The Fall of the Luminary Everin. The Everin were not always a united force. Among their kind was a group known as the Luminary Everin, who believed in nurturing diversity rather than enforcing conformity. These dissenters argued that chaos and creativity were vital to the multiverse's growth. A civil war erupted, fracturing the Everin. The Luminary Everin were defeated and cast into the void between threads, a place where even time ceases to exist. Their defeat marked the Everin's transition from guardians to tyrants. Kalen, the child of Ethan and Lyra's fusion, discovers remnants of the Luminary Everin within the eternal loom. Drawn to their echoes, Kalen learns that its creation was no accident. Ethan and Lyra's powers had mingled with fragments of the Luminary Everin's essence, making Kalen a bridge between the Everin and mortal life. This revelation shakes Kalen's resolve. It begins to question whether its existence is a blessing or a tool designed to manipulate the multiverse's balance. Chapter 19, Ethan and Lyra's Guidance. Ethan and Lyra, still present within the loom's energies, sense Kalen's turmoil. Through subtle interventions, they guide Kalen to embrace its role not as a mere creation, but as a force of choice and freedom. They share their memories of love, struggle, and sacrifice, reminding Kalen that its unique nature is what gives it the power to reshape the multiverse in ways the Everin never could. Kalen ventures into the void between threads to find the imprisoned Luminary Everin. It discovers that the Luminaries, though weakened and scattered, still cling to hope. They reveal that the Everin's tyranny has reached a tipping point. Without intervention, the eternal loom will collapse under the weight of their rigid control. Kalen pledges to free the Luminaries and restore their balance to the multiverse, but doing so will require confronting the Everin Council, the ruling body that governs all dimensions. The Everin Council resides in the Spire of Concordance, a fortress at the multiverse's center. Kalen infiltrates the spire with the help of luminary fragments, discovering the Council's ultimate plan to collapse all dimensions into a single, perfect reality under their absolute rule. Kalen is captured and brought before the Council, where the Everin attempt to sway it to their side, offering power and knowledge in exchange for loyalty. Chapter 20, Ethan and Lyra's Manifestation. As Kalen struggles, their presence emboldens Kalen, who rejects the Council's offer and declares its intent to restore freedom to the multiverse. The Council, enraged, unleashes their full power, initiating a battle that spans across dimensions. The battle takes place not in one realm, but across the very threads of the multiverse. The Everin deploy their enforcers shimmering, mechanized avatars of pure order, while Kalen rallies the Luminary Everin and the coalition of species united by Ethan and Lyra. Ethan and Lyra, still bound to the loom, use their remaining energy to stabilize collapsing dimensions, ensuring the multiverse doesn't unravel during the conflict. Chapter 21, The Birth of the Harmonium. In the battle's climax, Kalen taps into its unique nature as a fusion of mortal and Everin energy. It creates the Harmonium, a new force that binds chaos and order into equilibrium. The Harmonium overwhelms the Everin Council, stripping them of their power and dissolving their control over the multiverse. However, using the Harmonium drains Kalen's energy, leaving it at the brink of dissolution. Ethan and Lyra intervene, sacrificing their remaining essence to restore Kalen. Their final act infuses Kalen with their love and wisdom, making it the true guardian of the multiverse. With the Everin defeated and the Harmonium established, the multiverse enters a new era of balance. Kalen takes its place as the Harmonium's nexus, ensuring that all dimensions are free to grow and evolve without interference. Ethan and Lyra, though no longer present, are remembered as legends whose love reshaped existence itself. Their dimension becomes a sacred place, a sanctuary for those seeking peace and enlightenment. Kalen, now the embodiment of harmony, carries forward their legacy, fostering unity across the infinite expanse of the multiverse. As the multiverse thrives, a new melody resonates through the eternal loom, a song of love, freedom, and balance. Kalen hears it and knows it is the echo of Ethan and Lyra, their essence forever entwined with the fabric of creation. The song reminds all beings, from the smallest life forms to the grandest dimensions, that peace is not born of control but of understanding and unity. Ethan, Lyra, and Kalen, having defeated the Everin and restored balance to the multiverse, find themselves at peace, but a lingering curiosity remains. The eternal loom, which binds all dimensions together, has begun whispering cryptic hints that the fabric of reality is not as it seems. Drawn by these whispers, Kalen uncovers a hidden layer of the multiverse, a veil so deeply entwined with existence that even the Avaran failed to perceive it. What they discover changes everything. The multiverse they've known is contained within something far greater, a singular, tangible object. Their universe is no more than the air molecules suspended within an old, battered basketball. Chapter 22. The Echoes of the Sphere. Kalen discovers a boundary within the loom that does not lead to another dimension, but instead collapses into an unfamiliar void. Beyond this void lies the sphere of eternity, a self-contained reality. Ethan and Lyra, their essence still interwoven with the loom, help Kalen analyze this strange discovery. They find that the multiverse they've been protecting is entirely enclosed within the walls of this spherical construct, with each dimension forming part of the air molecules inside it. As Kalen probes deeper, it discovers that the multiverse has been cycling endlessly, each iteration beginning anew every time the sphere bursts. When the basketball pops, the molecules within it dissipate into a larger meta-reality, merging with its air. Over time, the remnants recoalesce, forming a new sphere. Ethan and Lyra come to understand that their grand battles, their victories, and even their existence are but fragments of a greater cycle. The sphere is not infinite. It is merely a vessel in an infinite loop of life, destruction, and rebirth. Through the loom, Ethan and Lyra trace the origins of the sphere to a being that exists in the meta-reality beyond. This being, known only as the Observer, is a creator without malice, a cosmic child who plays with universes as toys. The Observer's actions are unintentional yet profound. It inflates the sphere, introducing air that forms dimensions in life. When the sphere bursts, the molecules scatter into the greater air of its world, seeding the next cycle of existence. Chapter 23, A Fragile Universe. Ethan and Lyra realize the sphere is on the verge of collapse once again. Tiny cracks in its fabric have begun leaking molecules into the void. Every breath in the meta-reality tugs at their dimensions, unraveling the very threads of the loom. Kalen, determined to preserve what they've built, proposes finding a way to stabilize the sphere, even if it means altering the natural cycle of destruction and rebirth. Kalen devises a plan to breach the sphere's walls and enter the meta-reality beyond. By harnessing its unique energy as a fusion of chaos and order, Kalen creates a temporary rift, allowing Ethan and Lyra to pass through in spirit form. The meta-reality is a world of colossal scale, where beings like the Observer tower over everything. Ethan and Lyra realize that they are no more than infinitesimal particles to this greater world, their existence dependent on the whim of a child playing a game. Chapter 24, The Observer's World. In the meta-reality, Ethan and Lyra witness the mundane reality of the Observer's world. The sphere is just one of many basketballs in a dusty garage. They watch as the Observer, a curious child, prepares to play with the sphere, unaware of the trillions of lives contained within. They also notice other spheres in various states, some deflated, others pristine, each containing its own unique multiverse. Ethan and Lyra feel an overwhelming sense of insignificance, but also a profound connection to something greater. The Observer picks up the sphere, turning it in their hands. Ethan, Lyra, and Kalen realize they have only moments to act before the sphere is popped, scattering their reality into the air. Kalen channels its power to communicate with the Observer, sending a pulse of emotion, love, wonder, and the desire to continue existing. For a brief moment, the child pauses, sensing something within the sphere. Instead of popping it, the Observer carefully sets it aside, unknowingly granting their multiverse more time. Chapter 25, A New Understanding. With the sphere temporarily safe, Ethan and Lyra return to the loom, where they share their discoveries with Kalen and the other beings of the multiverse. The revelation of their smallness does not bring despair, but a newfound sense of purpose. They understand that their existence, no matter how infinitesimal, is meaningful because it is shared. Every breath, every act of creation ripples across the molecules, forming connections that transcend the sphere. Rather than fighting the natural cycle, Ethan and Lyra help Kalen prepare the multiverse for its eventual rebirth. They guide civilizations to understand that endings are not to be feared, for they are merely beginnings in disguise. Kalen becomes the caretaker of this knowledge, ensuring that the multiverse's inhabitants pass their wisdom and love into the next cycle. In the meta-reality, the Observer loses interest in the sphere and leaves it untouched. As time passes, the sphere naturally deflates, its molecules slowly returning to the air. Within the multiverse, Ethan and Lyra watch as their dimensions dissolve, their essence mingling with the threads of the loom. They feel no sorrow, only peace, knowing they have fulfilled their purpose. As the sphere's molecules spread into the meta-reality's air, they carry with them the echoes of Ethan and Lyra's love, seeding the next iteration of existence. In the observer's world, a new sphere begins to form, its molecules swirling with the remnants of the old. Within it, the seeds of life awaken once more, carrying faint memories of those who came before. And as the first breath is taken within this new multiverse, a whisper echoes through its dimensions. Life begins anew, and love endures forever. Ethan, Lyra, and Kaylin return from the observer's world, carrying the profound truth of meta-reality that everything, space, time, and existence itself is a construct of meta. They learn that every molecule, thought, and dimension is a fragment of a greater singular truth. Ethan begins to piece together the deeper meaning of meta-reality, realizing it is not just the building block of their multiverse, but the essence of consciousness itself. He theorizes that understanding meta-reality could allow beings to transcend their limitations and achieve true enlightenment. Chapter 26, explaining the meta, Kaylin, driven by its duty to maintain balance, gathers the leaders of the multiverse's civilizations. Ethan and Lyra attempt to explain what they've uncovered. Life as you know it is not real, Ethan begins. It is part of a grander construct, a meta-reality where everything is intertwined. Every molecule, every thought, and every breath is merely a reflection of this larger truth. Despite their best efforts, the gathered beings cannot grasp the enormity of the revelation. For most, the concept of meta-reality is too abstract, too far removed from their lived experiences. Doubt and fear begin to fester. Leaders of several dimensions interpret Ethan and Lyra's message as a threat. To them, the idea of their world being an illusion undermines their power, faith, and identity. Accusations of deception fly, and soon whispers of rebellion echo across the multiverse. A coalition of beings, calling themselves the Defenders of Truth, rises against Ethan, Lyra, and Kaylin. They believe the trio is attempting to rewrite reality and erase their way of life. The Defenders of Truth launch a coordinated attack seeking to imprison Ethan and Lyra within the eternal loom itself, hoping to sever their connection to the meta-reality. Kaylin intervenes, using its power to shield them, but the coalition's sheer numbers and determination overwhelm even Kaylin's abilities. They trap Kaylin in a dimensional vortex, leaving Ethan and Lyra to fend for themselves. Chapter 26, Ethan Ascends. As the Defenders unleash their final assault, Ethan taps into the core of meta-reality. He realizes that his connection to the loom, combined with his understanding of meta, grants him a power beyond anything he had ever imagined. In a blinding surge of energy, Ethan's form shifts. He becomes a being of pure meta, a godlike entity capable of reshaping reality at its most fundamental level. With a wave of his hand, he disarms the Defenders, dissolving their weapons into harmless fragments of meta. His voice booms across dimensions. You cannot fight what you are. You are meta. You are me. And I will not allow this multiverse to fall into chaos again. Ethan's transformation shocks even Lyra and Kaylin. As he stabilizes the multiverse, he begins to sense something even deeper. He is the meta. The revelation hits him like a tidal wave. Every molecule, every thread of the loom, every dimension is not just connected to him, they are him. Ethan is not merely a savior or a guardian, he is the foundation of existence itself. The beings of the multiverse, seeing Ethan's power, fall to their knees. The Defenders of Truth beg for forgiveness, their rebellion quelled by the overwhelming presence of what they now recognize as the one true God. Chapter 27, A Rift in Unity. While many accept Ethan's divinity, some beings remain wary. Lyra herself questions the implications of Ethan's transformation. If you are the meta, if you are everything, then what are we? Lyra asks. Do we have free will? Or are we just extensions of your will, acting out a script you've written? Ethan hesitates. He does not have an answer, and the weight of Lyra's question lingers. Kaylin, freed from the dimensional vortex, returns to Ethan and Lyra. It shares a vision it received while imprisoned, a glimpse of another meta-reality, one where beings like Ethan exist but are not benevolent. Kaylin warns Ethan that his newfound power could corrupt him, just as the Avaran's obsession with order had corrupted them. Even gods must be held accountable, Kaylin says. Ethan begins to understand that even meta-reality is part of a larger cycle. Creation, destruction, and rebirth are not unique to the multiverse. They are universal constants, present in every layer of existence. As Ethan delves deeper, he discovers that his ascension is not an anomaly. There have been others before him, and there will be others after him. Each serves as a god for their time, guiding the meta-reality through its endless cycles. Ethan, now fully aware of his role, begins to reshape the multiverse. He creates pockets of peace and harmony, granting beings the freedom to evolve without interference. But as he works, a voice echoes through the loom, a voice Ethan recognizes as his own. "Did you really think you were the first?" Ethan turns to see a shadowy figure step from the void, its form identical to his own. The figure smirks and says, "You've only just begun to understand. Let me show you what being God truly means." The multiverse trembles as the two Ethans face each other, and the loom shudders under the weight of their power. Chapter 28, Echoes of a Kindred Soul. September 26, 2025, 10:45 p.m. Josiah walked alone through the dense woods behind his neighborhood, the moonlight spilling through the trees like liquid silver. He often found solace here, away from the chaos of the world he had helped unravel. Tonight, however, felt different, charged with an energy that prickled his skin. He wasn't alone. "Are you just going to stand there, or are you lost?" a voice called out from the shadows. Josiah turned sharply, his heart skipping a beat. A tall boy with dark, inquisitive eyes and a mop of curly hair stepped into the moonlight. His posture was casual, but his gaze was sharp, piercing through Josiah as if he already knew more than he let on. "Who are you?" Josiah asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "I could ask you the same thing," the boy replied with a smirk, "but I already know. You're Josiah, the kid who's got half the world chasing shadows. Name's Malachi, by the way." Josiah froze, his mind racing. Malachi? The name was vaguely familiar. Then it hit him. Malachi was the boy from his school who always seemed to know things he shouldn't. Stories of him hacking into systems, decoding cryptic symbols, and solving mysteries were whispered in the halls. Before Josiah could respond, another figure emerged, a petite girl with wild, curly hair and a fierce determination in her stride. She carried a battered notebook, its pages spilling out in all directions, filled with strange symbols and sketches. "This is Avani," Malachi said, nodding toward her. "She's got the brains, I've got the instincts." "And you, Josiah, you've got the key?" Avani rolled her eyes. "Don't mind him, he's dramatic. But he's right. We've been tracking you for weeks. The things you've been uncovering, they're bigger than you realize." Josiah stared at them, a mixture of skepticism and curiosity brewing in his chest. How did they know about him? And why did it feel like they belonged to his story? As if they'd been waiting for this moment just as he had. Chapter 29, The Pact. September 27, 2025, 1:15 a.m. Hours later, Josiah found himself sitting in Malachi's dimly lit basement. The room was a chaotic mix of technology and old books, wires snaking across the floor like veins, and holographic screens flashing strange, indecipherable codes. "We've been gathering information," Avani said, spreading her notebook across the table. "Your connection to the aliens isn't just random, Josiah. It's deliberate. They chose you for a reason." Malachi leaned back, spinning a pencil between his fingers. "We think it has to do with your spirit form," he said nonchalantly. "That thing isn't just some reflection. It's a fragment of the original source, a being that exists outside of time and space." Josiah blinked. "You're saying I'm some kind of cosmic fragment?" "More like a bridge," Avani corrected. "The aliens, especially the ones you've been talking to, they've been using you as a conduit. But there's something bigger at play here, Josiah. Something they haven't told you." Josiah's stomach tightened. He had always known there were layers to the truth, but now it felt like he was standing on the edge of an abyss. "We want in," Malachi said suddenly, breaking the tension. "Whatever this is, we're with you. But if we're going to do this, we need to make a pact." Avani nodded. "No lies, no secrets. If we're going to face this, we face it together." Josiah hesitated, but only for a moment. He reached across the table, placing his hand atop theirs. "Together," he said, his voice steady. Chapter 30, Whispers of Ethan. October 1st, 2025, 3 p.m. The trio spent the next few days poring over Avani's notes and Malachi's data. They pieced together fragments of alien transmissions, ancient texts, and cryptic symbols that pointed to a single name, Ethan. "Who is Ethan?" Avani muttered, flipping through her notebook. Not who," Malachi corrected. "What?" Josiah frowned. "What do you mean?" Malachi tapped on his holographic screen, pulling up a series of alien glyphs. "Ethan isn't a person, he's a force, a sentient being that transcends dimensions. The aliens call him the architect, the one who designed the fabric of reality. Avani gasped. That explains the symbols, the spirals, and the fractals. They're not just decorations, they're the blueprint of existence. Josiah stared at the screen, his mind racing. He had always felt a pull towards something greater, something beyond comprehension. Now it was beginning to make sense. Chapter 31, Best Friend. Over the next 6 chapters, the trio embarks on a journey that takes them across realms of existence. They uncover hidden temples, decipher ancient codes, and encounter beings who warn them of the dangers of seeking Ethan. Josiah's connection to his spirit form deepens, allowing him glimpses of the truth. Ethan is not just the creator, but also the guardian of balance. The climax unfolds in a sacred realm known as the Sanctuary of Origins. Here, Josiah finally comes face to face with Ethan, a towering figure of light and shadow whose presence fills the air with both awe and terror. Chapter 32, The Resolution. October 25th, 2025, 11:59 p.m. Ethan's voice was like a symphony, resonating through every fiber of Josiah's being. You have come far, Josiah, Ethan said, but the truth you seek comes with a price. Are you prepared to bear it? Josiah glanced at Malachi and Avani, their faces filled with unwavering resolve. Together, they had uncovered the secrets of existence, faced unimaginable dangers, and defied the boundaries of reality itself. I am, Josiah said firmly. Ethan nodded, extending a hand of pure light. Then take the next step, Josiah, not as a boy seeking answers, but as a guardian of truth. As Josiah stepped forward, he felt his spirit form merge with him, the boundaries between his physical and cosmic self dissolving. He was no longer just Josiah B. He was something more, something infinite. When the light faded, Josiah turned to his friends, a sense of calm washing over him. Together, they had not just uncovered the truth, they had become part of it. The world was waiting, and they were ready. Chapter 33, Threads of Connection, November 2nd, 2025, 5 p.m. Josiah sat cross-legged in the center of Malachi's basement, surrounded by the hum of circuits and faint blue light from the screens. Across from him, Malachi adjusted the calibration of the beacon, muttering about frequency alignment while Avani scrawled formulas into her notebook. You ever wonder why we're so drawn to this? Josiah asked, his voice quiet but steady. Malachi glanced up. Curiosity isn't just something we do, it's what we are. It's written into our DNA, man. Avani nodded, her pen pausing mid-stroke. And connection. We're not meant to be islands, what we're doing here, it's about finding out where we belong. Josiah smiled faintly. It was in moments like these, when their work slowed and the conversation turned philosophical, that he felt their bond grow. These weren't just friends. They were partners in unraveling the great mystery of existence. Chapter 34, Night of the Stars. November 12th, 2025, 11 p.m. Bundled in jackets and blankets, the trio sat on a hill overlooking the countryside, a telescope positioned between them. The night sky stretched endlessly, a tapestry of stars blinking in and out of view. Avani adjusted the lens. Do you think anyone's looking back at us? She mused, her voice tinged with wonder. I hope so, Josiah replied. It's comforting to think we're not alone in this vast mess. Malachi leaned back, hands behind his head. If they are, they're probably laughing at how we still argue about things like borders and money. They laughed, but there was a weight to the silence that followed. Josiah realized that these shared moments, this vulnerability under the stars, was why their bond felt unshakable. They weren't just working toward a shared goal. They were building a shared understanding of life itself. Chapter 35, The River Expedition. November 15th, 2025, 2:30 p.m. Determined to gather mineral samples for their experiments, the trio ventured to a nearby river, known for its magnetic anomalies. They waded through the icy water, laughing and shivering as they scooped up sediment and rocks. This one's got some serious potential, Malachi said, holding up a shimmering stone. Careful, Avani teased. You don't want to trigger some ancient curse. Josiah grinned, feeling a rare sense of lightheartedness. The task wasn't just about science, it was about trust. They relied on each other to navigate the slippery rocks and rushing water, proving that their connection extended beyond their minds to their actions. Chapter 36, The First Breakthrough. November 20th, 2025, 1 a.m. The beacon lit up with an intensity they hadn't seen before, emitting a series of low hums that echoed through the room. Josiah and Avani scrambled to record the data, while Malachi monitored the readings. This is it, Malachi exclaimed. We're picking up something real. For hours, They worked together to decode the signal, their exhaustion overshadowed by excitement. By morning, they had uncovered a series of coordinates, numbers that seemed to point to a specific location deep in the mountains. It was their first real success, and as they celebrated with triumphant shouts and clinking soda cans, Josiah felt something shift. They weren't just friends anymore. They were a team, a family of sorts, bound by shared triumphs and struggles. Chapter 37, A Moment of Doubt. November 25th, 2025, 4:30 p.m. As they prepared for their expedition to the mountains, tensions ran high. Malachi grew frustrated with Avani's meticulous planning, while Josiah struggled to mediate. "Why do you always have to overthink everything?" Malachi snapped. "Because someone has to make sure we don't get lost or killed," Avani shot back. Josiah stepped between them. "Guys, stop." Chapter 38, Forging Unity. December 5th, 2025, 4:30 p.m. The argument in the mountains had left its mark on Josiah, Malachi, and Avani, but instead of fracturing their bond, it strengthened it. They met at their usual spot in Malachi's basement, sitting in a circle to hash out their differences. "I was wrong to push so hard," Josiah admitted, "but I believed in us. I still do." Avani nodded, her expression softening. "We've always been better together. Let's stop trying to control everything and start trusting each other more." Malachi smirked. "Fine, but only if we agree to expand our group. We need more hands and brains for what's ahead." The idea of bringing others into their tightly knit circle felt risky, but they knew it was necessary. With this decision, they laid the foundation for something bigger, a network of like-minded explorers ready to take on the universe. Chapter 39, The New Recruits. December 10th, 2025, 7 p.m. Word of the trio's discoveries spread, drawing the attention of two new recruits. Serena, a tech prodigy with a gift for building advanced machinery, and Tobias, an ex-military strategist with a knack for problem-solving. Josiah was cautious at first, but Serena's easy humor and Tobias's calm demeanor quickly won him over. Avani appreciated Serena's innovation, while Malachi found a kindred spirit in Tobias's no-nonsense approach. The expanded group began working together seamlessly, combining their strengths to upgrade the beacon and plan their next steps. Their collaboration proved that unity wasn't about uniformity, it was about embracing differences and working toward a common goal. Chapter 40, Laying the Groundwork, December 15th, 2025, 8 a.m. With their group now 5 strong, they established a structured approach to their exploration. Serena designed portable tech for interstellar travel, while Tobias devised safety protocols and contingency plans. Josiah marveled at how easily the new recruits fit into their dynamic. "We've always been about discovery," he said during a meeting, "but now we're building something lasting, something that will outlive us." Their combined efforts led to the development of the portal grid, a system capable of opening stable pathways to distant parts of the cosmos. It was the culmination of their shared vision, and its unveiling marked the start of a new era in their journey. Chapter 41, First Steps into the Unknown. January 1st, 2026, 12:01 a.m. The portal grid activated for the first time on New Year's Day, casting a shimmering, translucent gate in the air before them. Josiah, Malachi, Avani, Serena, and Tobias stood together, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. "This is it," Josiah said, his voice steady. "The beginning of everything we've been working for. Stepping through the portal was like stepping into a dream." They emerged in a realm of floating islands and cascading starlight, a place both alien and beautiful. As they explored, they realized the importance of their expanded team. Each member's unique skills played a vital role in their survival. Chapter 42, Building Bridges. January 10th, 2026, 6 p.m. Their first encounter with an alien species was cautious but promising. The beings, called Zephyrians, communicated through patterns of light and sound, their culture centered on harmony and balance. It was Avani who cracked the code of their language, while Tobias established trust by showing respect for their customs. Serena's tech impressed the Zephyrians, earning their admiration, and Josiah's quiet curiosity endeared him to their leader, Oreth. The Zephyrians provided valuable knowledge about the cosmos, including maps of uncharted territories and warnings about dangerous regions. Their alliance became the first of many, setting a precedent for cooperation and mutual respect. Chapter 43, Facing Challenges, February 1st, 2026, 9 a.m. Not all species they encountered were as welcoming as the Zephyrians. In a hostile region of space, they met the Dravok, a warlike race with no interest in diplomacy. The group narrowly escaped an ambush, relying on Tobias's tactical expertise and Malachi's quick thinking to navigate their ship to safety. The experience was a sobering reminder of the risks they faced. We need to be prepared for anything, Josiah said afterward, but we can't let fear stop us. The cosmos is as dangerous as it is beautiful. Chapter 44, Moments of Reflection. February 10th, 2026, 11:30 p.m. During a quiet evening aboard their ship, the group gathered around a holographic projection of Earth. They shared stories of home, laughing and reminiscing about the simpler times before their journey began. For Josiah, these moments were precious, a reminder of why they had embarked on this adventure. We're not just explorers, he said. We're guardians of everything that matters: hope, knowledge, and connection. Chapter 45, Expanding Horizons. March 1st, 2026, 4 p.m. The group's reputation grew, attracting more recruits to their cause. Among them were Arya, a linguist with an unparalleled ability to decode alien languages, and Daxon, a biologist fascinated by extraterrestrial ecosystems. With their expanded team, they tackled larger missions, exploring ancient ruins, studying alien fauna, and uncovering lost civilizations. Each discovery brought them closer, solidifying their bond and reinforcing their shared purpose. Chapter 46, The Cosmic Puzzle. April 15th, 2026, 2 a.m. The group stumbled upon a massive structure drifting in the void, a derelict space station filled with cryptic symbols and advanced technology. As they explored its depths, they pieced together fragments of a story about a lost civilization that had achieved enlightenment before mysteriously vanishing. The station's technology hinted at answers to questions Josiah had pondered his entire life. What makes humans human? Why are we here? What is our purpose? It's all connected, Avani said, her voice hushed with awe. Everything we've seen, everything we've done, it's part of a larger design. Chapter 47, Together, Forward. May 1st, 2026, 12 p.m. As the group prepared for their next journey, Josiah reflected on how far they had come. From a curious boy exploring the woods to a leader of an interstellar team, his transformation mirrored the growth of their collective. We started as individuals, Josiah said during a team meeting. Now we're a family, and together we're going to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. With their ship ready and their spirits high, the group launched into the stars once more, determined to continue their journey of discovery and connection. To be continued. Author Paul Belka, Polar Pop Cup.